Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Political Job Interview, where I interview candidates running for election. I'm Vincenzo Calla, the host, and today I take on the role as the boss, giving a job interview to today's candidate, Wendy Davidson. Wendy is running for election for Ottawa City Council as a candidate for Ward 8 College. Thank you, Wendy, for your time, and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for doing this. I think it's just wonderful, and I love to see the engagement from all walks of life. So thank you so much for doing this.
Well, it's great to have you on, and let's get into this job interview. As with any good job interview, I'm going to start off with an opportunity to learn more about Wendy. So the first question, Wendy, is can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your story?
Sure. I'm a resident of College Ward. I bought my first home here, and I've now moved a few streets over as my family grew. I moved here in 2003. I moved to Ottawa. I have an honors degree in political science from the University of Western Ontario, and I've been involved in politics at some form or another for many, many years. Started in public school when I was president of my public school and high school, and I was involved when I was in university and was the president of my church. So it's always been a passion of mine.
So, what has made you decide to sort of take this jump now into running for counselor? What made you decide first off counselor, and why now?
Well, because I think municipal government is extremely important, and I think it's somewhere that you can actually make a difference and you can accomplish something in a 4-year term. I worked for, like I said, I went to school for politics. I've always been involved, and then I ran a business. Well, I worked for Cisco Food Services, and I ran a multi-million-dollar territory for many, many years, 18 years, in fact. I loved my job, was involved in many things, like I said, but my job was very demanding. I was a commission sales rep, so it was 24/7, nights, weekends, that kind of thing, because in the restaurant industry. And during COVID, I lost my job. So I've been retired for 2 years now. And the girls, I have 2 daughters. They are going back to school in September, hopefully full time. And it's time for me to come out of retirement and put my money where my mouth is, so to speak, because I always have lots of ideas and I love to challenge the status quo. And I think now is the perfect time for me.
Let's take some time to talk about that, talk about the job and what you bring to it. So the first question is, what experience do you have that you're bringing to this job? What's some of that important experience that you're bringing to the job?
Well, I certainly have a lot of business acumen, and I think that that's important. I'm also a mom and I'm a wife. And like I said, I ran a very, very successful business for a very long time. And I worked for a giant company, and my customers were local restaurateurs, so nothing that was a chain. And I was always fighting for my customers against Cisco and vice versa, negotiating and doing all those kinds of things, challenging the bureaucracy and the status quo, which I believe is essential for a councillor to do, sitting around the table and voting for the city. And so I see that very, very as a smooth transition to being a councillor. The big machine is the city, and then there's, College Ward, Ward 8, and you've got to work and meet in the middle. You've got to work for your ward, but you also have to understand that you're a vote for the whole city.
So, College Ward is a ward that everybody's watching. Let's face it, there's been a lot going on in your ward for a while now, for the past 4 years, and a lot of people are looking at it, and a lot of people decided to run because for one reason or another, everybody decided to run. So I want to ask you, what sets you apart from all the other candidates who are running in College Ward?
Well, one thing that I think is really important is that I actually live in this ward. Like I said, I bought my first home here. I've continued to live here. I'm raising my family here. And I have a different perspective than someone who doesn't live here per se. And I think that that would be true to say and to speak to for any councillor in any ward. I do have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of drive, and I have a lot of questions. And I think that those are important things that put me into a different category than some of the other candidates.
Part of serving as an elected official is serving the people who elect you, if they decide to elect you. So a few questions about how you want to serve the people. Um, the first question is, what is something that the people you would like to serve, the people of College Ward, what's something they need that you want to get done if you're elected?
Um, well, we've heard from many councillors around Ottawa and within College Ward. Traffic calming is a thing. There's many issues, but I would say that in the first 100 days, when I'm elected, if I'm elected, I would love to put together a task force, a working force of people, neighbors, community members, businesses, and also staff from the city, and look at beautifying Maryville. Maryville is a place that most people at some point from not just this ward, but from all over Ottawa end up at some point. And it's just, it's a destination that nobody looks forward to, unfortunately. And I think we need to beautify Maryville. I want to put together a force. I think we need to look at doing a BIA. I understand that it straddles two wards, so we would have to work together. The two wards, we would have to work together, but I think it's something that is doable and that I would definitely want to do within the first 100 days of being elected.
Well, definitely. I've had a lot of candidates from College Ward and candidates from Roxdale, Maryville, and I've talked with some of those guests before about the importance of revitalizing Maryville, because Maryville is, like you said, a place where a lot of people from different wards, your ward, Knoxdale, Maryville ward,
Yes,
some of the other wards around, even Barhaven ward, Riverside South ward, a lot of people end up there, like you said, and it's a place of business with tons and tons and tons of businesses, one of the main shopping areas, retail strips of this end of the city. And there's lots of work that does need to be done to revitalize it, making it a place not only for people to shop, but for people to work and live as well. And there's lots of
absolutely.
opportunity.
And there's more people will be moving in. There's a plan for it. It's happening. There's going to be condos and apartment buildings going up. And we need to establish Maryville, get a BIA if possible, which would be a wonderful accomplishment. And those retail businesses that will inevitably be on the ground floor of those new buildings and stuff, they'll just automatically, it'll all be set up and we'll be ready to go with it, you know?
Definitely. And finally, I wanted to go into the last question now, which is, what's one accomplishment that you have achieved that demonstrates why you'd be a good elected official if the people were to choose you?
Well, I would say that like I was mentioning, I worked for Cisco for 18 years. And when I took my first mat leave with our eldest daughter, when I came back to my territory, I didn't even actually take a year off. I took 8 months off. But when I came back, my territory was in negative growth. And within a year, I turned that around and won one of the top corporate awards. And I'm very proud of that accomplishment because it was a lot of hard work with a new baby at home. And, to win a corporate awards consecutively, I've won several of them. And, but also I would have to say, coming out of retirement, to try putting my hat in the ring to be a counselor and showing to my family, to my daughters, that, dreams can come true if you work hard. And I hope that I'll become the counselor.
So thank you, Wendy, so much for joining me today. It was great having you, and I'm sure the viewers have really enjoyed hearing what you have to offer to them. Election day is on the 24th of October, and if you liked hearing what Wendy Davidson had to say and live in Ward 8 College Ward, you have the opportunity to vote for her on Election Day. Check with the local election officials for more details. To stay updated, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at VC Productions 25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. The political job interview is a VCalla production. So until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.